Hello, welcome to the Westnit Studio. This is where all the design magic happens and some swatching. These are some swatches that didn't quite work out, but you might recognize some similar designs. I get a lot of ideas from swatching and playing with yarns, and they lead to designs like this sometimes. This is the Curvette Shawl. It's a brand new shawl for the summer season because I wanted something really light and airy. You'll notice all of these little eyelet stripes decorating the fabric. It just gives a beautiful fluid drape to the fabric, so it's not too warm. Perfect for summer. I used 4 colors for the Curvette shawl, starting at the top center and working your way all the way down to the border, and you just change from one color to the next. Super simple to knit. I often get asked which Westnit shawls are the easiest to knit, or if it's your first shawl, which one to choose first. And Curvette shawl is one of the easiest Westnit's patterns because you only have to knit. It's all knit stitches, and occasionally you do a little yarn over or a little slip stitch for the I-cord edge. So it's really easy knitting. It's not too difficult at all, and it's knit with fingering weight yarn. So you can use any fingering weight yarn, get your single skeins. I used Mohair yarn for this fabric because it comes in all of these really subtle, semi-solid and solid shades. It's really soft, and look at that structure of the yarn. It's a plied yarn. So what you're gonna get is this really nice squish and bounce in the fabric, and you'll also still get that drape because it's a really fine micron count in the merino. If you don't know what that means, it means it's soft. This is one of the softest merino yarns that we carry at Stephen Penelope, with 75% merino wool, superwash, and 25% nylon. And each 100-gram skein has 400 meters, or 437 yards. So when you're picking colors for your shawl, you're gonna wanna find 4 colors to be the main body of your shawl. So I went light to dark with a silver going into gold and a darker gold and a darker gold. So you can stick in one color family and just go light to dark with your color choices and just switch from one color to the next. So it's really easy to work with the yarns. When you're done with one color, you just switch to the next, and I tell you exactly where to change colors in the pattern. So you can just relax, enjoy the mindless rows. It's really easy knitting, and then one skein of a contrast color. Westwool Glow Hair is the lace weight eyelet yarn. This is the decorative fiber that accents those yarn over eyelets, and just one skein of this lace weight mohair liquefies the fabric, and it brings all of your other colors together. So that's one of my tricks that I use in my colorwork shawls, is by using these single random colors, but by having one color throughout the entire fabric, it gives you that harmony and balance so that all the colors get along and go together in the shawl. So I love how that canal house, this dark gray mohair, it brings all of the shades together and just looks really easy and really harmonious with your color palette. So the best color choice, I think, for an easy color choice is to stick in the color family. So you could get all of the shades of purple, and we have a lot of kits at Stephen Penelope that put these palettes together for you. And if you're getting yarns from your stash, go to a color family that you really love and then go light, a little bit darker, really saturated, and end with a dark shade for that border. And then find a mohair accent yarn that pops with all the main colors. If you don't want to use mohair in your shawl, that's okay. You could do just another shade of fingering weight merino, but 5 skeins of yarn will make the shawl, but you need to knit with the mohair. This really gives a softness and that beautiful halo and sheen to the fabric. So one other intriguing option that could be really cool to try is to get random color blocked colors. I put together this palette because I was inspired by this speckled skein. And that's one thing I like about Mohair is even when they do speckles, it's like a whisper of a speckle. They're more like a dusted little accents to the yarn. So it's really subtle and really soft. So even when you have these intense colors, I mean, look at this palette. It would be really color blocked, really clashy and vibrant. And this, I would do this orange as that accent yarn over. So spicy, and it's gonna have this beautiful friction and bring all the colors to life. So even when you have these really vibrant saturated colors from Mohair, this colorway is called Brilliant Blue, and it's like a mix of a royal purple blue color. Even when they're this bright, they still have a softness to them. And that's one thing I like about Mohair, is even when you have these really bright, solid yarns, they all have this really soft, subtle, sophisticated color application, which makes them all go together. So it's a really fun palette to mix and match and color block your yarns together. So the Curvette Shawl is on Ravelry. You can download this pattern, and I'll put a link in the description box down below. So you can download the pattern, enjoy the really easy rows. And I have a couple other samples for you blue lovers. This is another fun example of sticking in the color family. This version was knit with Walk Collection yarn, and 4 shades in the blue grays, and that light sky blue mohair pop brings all the colors together. So that was a fun harmonious option, and this got a little more spicy. There's a neutral and that bright yellow as the mohair accent. This green and red and the super dark brown red shade. So this is a really fun example of using those single skeins in your stash. Just grab some of your favorite colors and put a palette together, and that mohair, that's what's gonna bring it all together and make it really work. So the Curvette Shawl is one of my newest patterns that's super easy, but if you wanna try a different shawl, what I got inspired by for the Curvette was the Quake shawl. All right, I'm drowning in shawls. I think I have too many shawls. Did I just say that? I need to knit another one. I need to take that back. I'm gonna knit another shawl this week. So the Quake shawl uses the same stitch pattern, and this is where I got the inspiration for the stitch texture. So this uses the same type of yarn. So if you wanna get a Curvette shawl kit, or you got inspired by those Curvette eyelets, you could also knit this Quake shawl. It's a different pattern that's more angular with chevrons. It's a little bit one step in difficulty up from Curvette. Curvette is really simple, and Quake, you have to pay attention a little bit more. So if you're up for it, try the Quake shawl, and it uses the same type of yarn. 4 colors. I'm gonna do these greens. 4 shades for the main color, and let's do, bring it to life. 1 contrast color. So it uses the same type of yarn. You could choose either pattern, but I would definitely go for the summer if you want an easy project to take with you knitting outside, knitting in the park, watching your movies in the evening. This Curvette shawl, you can do it. If you're putting colors together for the Curvette shawl, make sure to tag those photos with hashtag Curvette Shawl on Instagram. Dive into your stash and mix those single skeins together. Try a different yarn and make a palette that really suits your style, because my patterns are just guidelines, okay? So use the Curvette shawl as a landscape and make it your own. So I'll see you in the next video.